answering your questions.
How important is Pennsylvania and Erie County to your campaign?
Pennsylvania will help determine who the next president of the United States is. We saw that in 2016, loud and clear. And importantly, Erie and its ability to contribute to the conversation, and the need to make sure that people in Erie know that they're respected, know that they're heard, know that we've been listening to them. I think that helps to decide everything in this country. So it could not be more important. And what we've learned today on issues of the economy, on education, on social justice, on the environment, folks were talking to me about what it means when the level of the lake has risen 3 feet, or what it means when there are algae blooms, or what it means when fresh water is potentially compromised or undermined. These are challenges that the entire country is concerned with. So learned a lot here in Erie, and Erie is so important to the rest of the country.
How do you plan to appeal to the voters in Erie County given such a critical battleground?
There's nothing that beats showing up and listening to those that you want to serve, whose votes you're asking for, seeking to understand them before you ever ask them to do anything on your behalf, and getting some time at the dry dock at Don John, being able to listen to those who work there, listen to those who promote this region economically, being here at this town hall meeting and getting to meet small business owners and folks from the community, some of whom may be a little bit critical, as we heard from some of the questions, but that's democracy, and that's the way that it should be. And I think only then do we have the chance to win them over or to have them join our side. And we saw an example of this in Texas last year, where we won more votes than any Democrat had in the state's history. And we won independents for the first time in decades, and importantly won hundreds of thousands of Republicans as well. So I know it's possible, but it begins by showing up and listening and learning and reflecting that back on the campaign trail.
Do you think that the Ukraine scandal might make the vice president a more favorable nominee?
I don't. I really think this country, as we should, is focusing on the conduct and the choices that President Trump has made. Using his position of power and the leverage of United States foreign aid to Ukraine to get them to dig up dirt on a political rival. It has forced this constitutional question that I am so grateful that the Congress of the United States is beginning to answer as they commence impeachment proceedings. So that's where I think the focus needs to be, and I think that's where the country is right now.
Two protests, both represent very strong issues around here. One is abortion, one is open carry. How do you convince an area like Northwest Pennsylvania that overall you're the best candidate for them, even though they may have strong agreements on certain specific points?
We're going to agree when it comes to standing behind public school teachers, or making investments in education or economic development, or a living wage, elevating the role that unions play. We may have some disagreements on gun safety. I truly believe that in a country that loses 40,000 lives to gun violence every year, we have no choice but to protect those lives through universal background checks, red flag laws, and an end to the sale of weapons of war. Some people are going to disagree, but what I have found is that even Republicans and gun owners, as well as Democrats and non-gun owners, know that this is the right thing to do. And we're seeing a majority in this country, we're even seeing a plurality in Texas support a mandatory buyback of AR-15s and AK-47s, because we understand that these weapons of war are too often turned against our fellow Americans, taking their lives in churches and synagogues, in school classrooms. And there's nothing right about that. And there's a way to preserve your ability to hunt, to protect yourself in your home, while protecting our lives when we're out in public.